It was 12:07 a.m. when the phone rang. Not a buzz, not a chime, not a gentle reminder from a smartphone. No, it was the loud, jarring ring of an old landline phone, the kind that sat on the kitchen wall, just beneath the calendar with too many X's on it. That ring, harsh and sudden, echoed through the silence like it had come from another lifetime. And in a way, it had. Hello and welcome to Everyday Epiphany, where simple stories spark soulful insights. Sit back, enjoy the journey, and may it brighten your day. Evelyn hadn't been expecting anyone to call. Not at that hour. Not anymore. She'd been dozing in her armchair, a half-finished crossword on her lap, and an Afghan draped over her legs. Outside, the wind danced with the trees, and the world felt half asleep, like even the night was hesitant to stir. She blinked twice, confused, then made her way slowly to the kitchen. Her slippers shuffled against the wooden floor. The phone kept ringing. It had been years since it last rang after dark. She picked up hello, a pause, then a breath, a voice on the other end, soft and almost afraid. Mom. The word felt like a ghost. Evelyn gripped the phone tighter. Danny, she said, the name barely escaping her lips. He hadn't called her in for years. Not since that last fight. Not since Thanksgiving. Not since the words that can't be unsaid, words about disappointment. About expectations, about all the ways they didn't understand each other. And now, there he was, a voice through the wire. At 12:07 a.m. I didn't know if you'd pick up, he said. Evelyn felt her knees weaken, and she slid into the kitchen chair. Her eyes burned with salt. I almost didn't, she admitted. There was silence again, the kind only a mother and son can share when the air between them has been heavy for years. I'm sorry, he said at last. Those two words, she had imagined them so many times, tried to picture how they might sound. But reality always feels different. It felt smaller, but more real. I've wanted to say it for a while, but I didn't know how. Evelyn looked at the wall clock. It ticked, indifferent. She touched the edge of the table. It was still the same one from his childhood. The one he used to sit at with scraped knees and jelly on his chin. You didn't have to know how, she whispered. You just had to try. Danny exhaled, and for a second, she could hear the version of him that used to run into the kitchen on Saturday mornings, asking if pancakes were ready. I saw a kid today, he said suddenly, at a gas station. He was yelling at his mom over the price of candy. And she looked at him the way you used to look at me. A quiet chuckle slipped through Evelyn's throat. It was dry, but real. And I thought, I don't want to be that kid anymore. Not to you. They spoke for over an hour. He told her about the apartment he'd moved into, the new job he was scared to start, the dog he adopted last winter. She told him about the neighbor who always parked too close to her mailbox. About her arthritis. About the new curtains she hated but couldn't return because she lost the receipt. Little things, nothing things. But everything, really. It wasn't a full repair. It wasn't fireworks or grand apologies. It was a thread, a delicate, shimmering thread stretching across a canyon of silence. And it was enough. Before he hung up, he said, I don't know what happens next. Evelyn looked out the kitchen window. The wind had calmed. The stars were out. We don't have to know, she said. We just have to keep calling. Later that week, Evelyn sat in that same chair, holding a cup of tea with both hands. She kept replaying the call in her mind, the words, the quiet, the courage it must have taken. She picked up a book from the shelf. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Her niece had recommended it. And as she read through the chapters, something stuck with her. A line about cycles, about how love sometimes gets tangled up in pain, and about the strength it takes to stop running, to face what hurts, and to rewrite the ending. She thought about Danny. How, maybe, the past didn't need to be perfect. Maybe all that mattered was that they chose something better, starting now. It wasn't about erasing the pain. It was about growing around it, like trees that bend toward the sun, even after storms. That midnight phone call wasn't just a conversation. It was a lifeline. A reminder that sometimes, all it takes is the courage to dial a number, to say a name, to admit that love never really leaves, even when it gets buried under years of misunderstanding. So many of us hold on to silence, convinced that we'll be rejected, or that too much time has passed. But the truth is, the heart doesn't measure time the way clocks do. It remembers kindness, even if it's been years. It remembers voices, laughs, lullabies. If you've been meaning to reach out to someone, maybe this is your sign. It doesn't have to be a perfect call. It just has to be real. Because sometimes, all we need is a second chance, and a quiet voice at the end of the line saying, "I'm still here." Thank you for being here with us at Everyday Epiphany. If today's story touched your heart or sparked a thought, subscribe and stay with us. Your next epiphany might just be one story away.